And we're live with Danny. Welcome to the Investing Across Borders show, where we have special guests a lot of times. And we talk about investing, immigration, real estate. And we're very happy to have Danny with us today. So, Danny, why don't you first introduce yourself?
Sure.
Let us know who you are, and we'll get started with our conversation.
Awesome. My name's Danny Shears. I'm a realtor in Fort Lauderdale. I usually list, buy, sell homes anywhere from Fort Lauderdale Airport all the way up to Boca. I work for Coldwell Banker, and I love working with people, even if it's just giving them information. I've been in the business for many years. Um, I'm, I guess, in the top 1% in South Florida. So hopefully I can give everybody here some really good advice.
That's awesome. So I like to start off because usually people who are watching, we're in our Canadians in the US Facebook group, or on LinkedIn, and also on YouTube. And really, a lot of people are wondering, are there opportunities for Canadians more specifically, or foreign nationals right now in Florida, especially in South Florida? So what would you say to someone who has that question kind of like in their mind?
So, there's always opportunities. There's always opportunities. It depends on people's budget. It depends on how much money they have to spend. Right now, Florida is going through an interesting time with regards to condominiums. The state has mandated full reserves. The insurance companies are doubling or tripling condominium um, insurance fees. So we see HOAs increasing. So I think a savvy buyer needs to understand the dynamics when they look at a condo, for example, if they are looking to invest to rent out, and understand how those increases come into the mix. If someone's buying for themselves, that's a whole other story, obviously. Uh,
Mhm.
but there's definitely possibilities. There's homes. Um, Florida market's interesting. It's not like the rest of the country because everyone in the country wants to come here.
Yeah.
So what happens is our even if the economy crashes in the country, ours is the first to go up. We saw that with COVID. Prices doubled in Florida. Right now, there's a downturn in the country. The market is slow. The Florida market has slowed down. So this is a good time for investors because people want to sell their condo. And like I said, the issue is HOAs have gone up. So a savvy investor, once they know how much money they want to spend and how much money they want to make, they can get some really good deals on condos.
Hmm.
Homes are a little more difficult depending on the area because we simply don't have enough properties. Again, if they have a good realtor, and there are some good realtors out there, they can find them the home that they can invest in.
Right. Yeah, I think that's key because a lot of times people are getting into this expecting some kind of cash flow, and you just don't know what there will be. It depends how much you want to put down, what the financing rate is going to be like, and I mean you can always refinance, so that's not usually the issue, but the issue is more about how do you start off, and is South Florida the viable option for you if you're an investor, or if you're looking to just move from Canada and find a home somewhere in Florida.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing. So what would you tell someone to who's starting off? What would be the first step that they? I mean, obviously they have to talk to us, but and we'll guide them. But when it comes specifically about real estate, after they already have their entity set up and everything is set up correctly,
Mhm.
what would be kind of like the first step?
So for me, the first step is once they've set up their entity, right, is to get a good realtor. They need a good realtor who knows the market. They need to look at the history of the realtor. They need to look at how much that person is sold, what is the area, what are the reviews of the realtor. Once they know all that, then they're able to basically know the individual they're working with. It's all about who they work with. I've heard horror stories from people. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So that's the best way to do it. And I think after that, then they zone in on markets that they're looking for. So if they're zoning in on markets that they're looking for, that's a really good thing.
Right.
Once they zone in on that, a good realtor can tell them the comps, can tell them what's available. Um, and what I do is actually I get my clients because I get them to zone in on different areas uh, one at a time, and
Hmm.
then they see what properties are available and what prices are available. I often give them addresses where they drive around and they sort of look at different properties from the outside to say, okay, is this somewhere that I want to invest in? And
Right.
within, for me, with clients new to the market, within 2 weeks, they already know what area they want to invest in.
That's great. So, I know you said you were pretty much from Boca all the way down south to
Mhm.
maybe like Miami, right? So, what would be, obviously there's a bunch of cities and a lot of different areas in there, but what would you give us kind of like your average or something that it's, because that's what people really want to know. Like, how much do I need to invest in that market and what am I looking at as far as, the numbers?
So again, when you say invest, it can either mean an investor wanting to rent out, or invest meaning they just want a seasonal home, or they're planning to move here. So there are three types of investments, right?
Usually, our clients are looking more for cash flow, so they're looking to do like short-term rentals or long-term rentals, or they're looking really to do more than just um, like they're looking to move, a lot of them, and we help them with their visa obviously, but a lot of them are looking to increase their real estate portfolio and be able to not just have a property in
Hmm.
South Florida, but to have an asset that will be making some
Yeah.
cash.
Okay. So had you asked me that question 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I would have said condos are a great buy. Now
Hmm.
that you're asking me that question now, I would say homes. Uh,
Right.
at least for now, because we just don't know where the HOAs are taking us. With a home, you can probably, depending where the home is, get anywhere between 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 10,000 a month, depending on the home. Whereas condos, again, the issue is the HOAs have doubled or tripled in some areas. So the investment is less. Again, that depends on the condo, right? It depends on your client's budgets.
Yeah.
Obviously, if someone's buying $1 million condo, um, the profit margin is higher.
Hmm.
So it all depends on where they want to put their investment. And of course, in South Florida, you have best bang for buck would be south would be probably wow. So Fort Lauderdale, you're still getting better bang for buck than Miami, hands down. As you go to Boca, forget that. Then when you go north, Delray, Vera Beach, Jupiter, those places, the prices are less, but then again, the rents are less. So that's why I say, once again, you really need a good agent, someone who knows
Yeah.
the market.
Yeah, definitely. So, I know a lot of. I'm assuming you work a lot with Canadians. You yourself are you're
Both
Canadian.
French and
Canadian.
English. I speak French. I'm from Montreal.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah. So a lot of people have questions about, what do you suggest? Like you said, homes right now. 3 months ago, probably not. Obviously, things are always changing.
Hmm.
But if it was you and you had maybe say $300,000 laying around, what would you do with that?
Wow. So
Sorry to put you on the spot.
because no, you didn't put me on the spot. It's funny because I'm actually selling my condo,
Oh,
and
wow.
we're in contract. We close May 2nd, and one of the
Wow.
reasons I'm selling my condo is because the HOA has increased so much that I worry about resale value in the future. Something
Wow.
has to give, and this is to answer your question. Something has to give. In other words, the HOA prices will not give. Prices will give. So we really think that prices in South Florida for condos might come down, and by the summertime, and the investors might be able to pick up something really good, and then it won't matter if the HOA is just a little more because they've got such a great deal on the condo. And condo rentals are phenomenal when you can rent it out with a good profit margin that reflects sort of the HOA into the equation. Now, $300,000, that's not going to get you much in South Florida. You need a little more than $300,000.
Yeah.
If you're looking at $300,000, well, you know what? No, that's not true. If you're looking at condos, that are in, let's say, not a high rise, but maybe up to 5 floors. Catwalks, meaning open, that it's open to the outside. Those are nice. I think a lot of Canadians aren't interested in that, but those are good deals. They're less expensive. And again, different condos have different rules, right? Some can rent out right away. Some you have to wait a year. Some minimum 3 months. Some all the time. So again, good realtor needs to know what building has those rules. So for $300,000, you can always get something in one of those buildings, and probably get rent around $2,500 a month. Um, then if you're looking at a house, the farther west you go, remember east is the ocean, west is inward. Uh,
Mm.
Prices go down. I just found someone a great condo for $250,000. It's beautiful in uh, Coral Springs. So we have different areas. There are a lot of possibilities. $300,000 still can get you something. It's just not going to get you something on the ocean. It's not going to get you something on the intercoastal. But when it comes to profit, money makes money.
Yeah, for sure. And I see Rodrigo is watching, and Lauren, she's traveling today, and she's just commenting, so she's just saying hi.
Hey, Lauren.
Um, so yeah, Rodrigo, if you have any questions for Danny, just post them in the chat. I know we've had some consults with you, and we kind of know your story, so it's nice to see you on here. Great. No, I think that's very good advice because obviously we've had other people who are realtors and just investors also as well in Southwest Florida, in the Space Coast, and I think Florida seems to be still an attractive place to come
It
and
is.
to invest.
It is.
Um,
It is.
so, what
Yeah,
would you say to someone who's looking at Florida? And I know that you live here and you know the state, but
sure.
what would you tell to someone who's looking at Florida and I mean, it's just narrowing down. It's very, very difficult. Obviously, the price has, it's something
Mhm.
to consider, the cost of living, of course. But what would you tell someone who is looking at Florida? They just don't know. They've heard of all of these amazing opportunities, like maybe South Florida. Why South Florida, and maybe what sets it apart.
So,
And
yeah.
after that,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
no, go ahead.
Just because I'm thinking of my answer, because I think it's a good answer. Well, one, I would tell them before anything, make sure they have the money to invest. It's important. If they have the cash, great. Make sure, okay, they know the cash, right? Two, if they are planning to get a mortgage, Canadian banks, you know, I've had some bad experience with Canadian banks giving a mortgage in Florida. I've had other good experiences, so I think they need to get over those hurdles first. I think if they are getting them, if they are planning to get a loan, they need to get those docs together. Then, I mean, listen, I've met Lauren several times and we've chatted, and I'm very impressed with Lauren. This is the truth, as well as you as well. I'm very impressed with your team. I think after they get all those things in the docs, I think they need to work with you to make sure that they're ready for what they're planning to do. I think then they need to work with a good realtor, and then they need to start looking. And like I said, I think we're going to see by June prices go down. So
Wow.
if your people or your clients or your people on this chat um, um, are thinking about moving forward with a purchase, you'll always make money in Florida if you're smart, right? And I think that they just need to do all that I just said and get ready for June. And I think we're all going to see price drops because people, I've seen condos on the market for 180 days. I've never seen that before.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
It's really crazy. That's why I'm glad I sold my
Yeah.
condo.
Yeah, that's yeah, you're lucky
Yeah.
because it's wow, that's I mean that's good news and bad news.
Yeah, well, it's good news for your people. I mean, all these
Yeah.
people watching on Facebook, now they know, okay, let's get all our docs that's ready to jump on something, and they'll probably be able to get something real good. And remember, if they can get a good mortgage, it's like cash. So if they can get a mortgage company or someone who's giving the loan to say they have been approved, it's done. That's like cash. You
Yeah.
know, pre-approval letters mean nothing. They mean
Mhm.
absolutely nothing. A pre-approval letter just says, okay, someone made a phone call. That's it.
Yeah.
So they need to be ready. And if they're ready by this June, they might be able to get some really great deals.
Yeah, some of the things that you need to do before working with Danny are obviously setting up your entities. If you're Canadian or if you're foreign national, you want to make sure that you're doing everything you can to be protected, and um, that's what Danny means. You have to set up your business first in order for you to go ahead and then look for financing options and then
That's
look
correct.
for lease and
Yeah.
everything like that. So once that's done, then Danny will be happy to show you around um, and give you his professional opinion on things um, that you need to be wary of and you need to look out for. So that's
Yeah.
great, Danny. I love that advice, especially because it's true. We need to, you really need to understand the process in order for you to then move forward. We actually are going to put the chat in the chat. We're going to put our consult link. So if people have questions, they can just schedule a consult with us, and we can get them started on setting up those entities that are so crucial for their success. And this is way before you start looking for properties. I mean, you can go on Zillow and Realtor and see all of the options. Obviously, not always are going to be, they're
Mhm.
not always going to be accurate, and that's why you need a realtor. But this is really the best way to get started.
Yeah,
So, Danny,
and
go ahead.
sorry, with regards to businesses,
Yeah.
I've worked with someone through you guys recently. I mean, they have to be prepared to do everything correctly with that business, and they'll be fine. They'll basically make a lot of money in the States.
Yeah, definitely. Especially a lot of clients are looking to eventually make the move and immigrate to
Mhm.
the US. So a lot of times it just makes sense to be able to just set up your entities to start the business. If you're thinking that real estate is the way to go, we have a lot of programs. We have SREI, we have another like program that they can go on. Like, but the first step is just starting it so that we can
That's correct.
get
Yeah.
everything going. So Danny, I know we're almost running out of time. Is there something that I didn't ask you that I should have asked you, or any last piece of advice that you would like to share with our subscribers and everybody watching?
I think I already said it. It's basically getting their business ready, making sure they're prepared. Are they going to be cash? Are they going to be loan? Making sure they're working with a good team to open up their business here. Make sure they don't make any mistakes, because if they do, it's just going to set them back. Working
Mhm.
with a good realtor, that's the last step. They need to
Yeah.
work with someone that, when they're ready. And that's it. Just being savvy they'll be a success here. I love the States. I love living here. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to live
that's
anywhere
awesome.
else.
That's awesome. Yeah, and just to recap, specifically to South Florida, guys, the farther west you move, the less expensive things become.
Mhm.
And Danny really covers anywhere from Boca all the way to Miami.
No, I don't. All the
So
way to the airport. I don't do south of Fort Lauderdale Airport, only because I like to give 150% of my time. And if I'm in Miami, I can't give that. I'm done.
thank you for that. You're
Yeah.
right. And Miami's like going to a different country.
Yes, it
So
is. I need to learn Spanish when I go down that way.
yeah, so but anyways, there's just a lot of options and opportunities.
Mhm.
Like Danny said 3 months ago, condos was probably the best option for investors, and now probably homes because the HOA fees are high.
That's correct.
And it looks like what Danny, just recapping a little bit, has mentioned that it looks like the prices on properties is actually going down in the next few weeks. So that's why it's important to get started today, because as we're tracking this, you just never know. You don't know if they're gonna all of a sudden have, make a jump or anything. And even if the financing is not there still, if you're still having a problem with financing, and you're still not sure, it's important to get started just in case you find something, you can jump on it right away.
Correct.
There are properties, like Danny said, that are sitting in the market for 180 days, but that's not usual for
Yeah.
us, and that's why we think that the prices are gonna go down.
Mhm.
And Danny, like, he just sold his condo, so that's proof that the market is moving. It's not like we're on a standstill.
Yeah, I got a
Maybe
record in
people are.
the
Go ahead.
said I got a record in the condominium for the condos. So yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
people are still buying. Market is still moving.
Yeah, like before, maybe we had some like 25 offers for a home, and now maybe that's not happening specifically, but it's still happening. There's still a lot of people selling and buying, so this is a great opportunity. So I just want to leave you guys with that. We'll be back actually in 2 weeks with another guest. Um, so make sure that you look out for that. We also have an event happening on May 10th. That is a workshop and a masterclass where we're going to be showing you the 10 steps to immigrate through real estate or investment. So that's going to be super exciting. We are almost done with the preparations for that event. So we'll share the link. We're actually having the May 10th is a Q&A, and then the following week is going to be the workshop and the masterclass. So we have two really, really amazing events happening in May. And I think we're losing Danny a little bit, but it's okay. We're almost done here. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Rodrigo, and everybody who made comments. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Have a nice day, everybody. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.